Hello everyone. So welcome you all to Ashok Tutorials Meghalai's first MTech channel. So my dear friends, today in this video we are going to discuss LP paper 1. So the subject we are going to discuss here is environmental studies, and the topic we have here today is assessment in environmental studies. Now you see, assessment word is very much familiar to you, right? Assessment of learning, assessment for learning, assessment as learning. This one also I have already explained in my YouTube channel. If you have not watched, if you do not know what do we mean by assessment of learning, what do we mean by assessment as learning, what do we mean by assessment for learning, then please go and watch that video first. All right, so let's start. Assessment in EVS. So what are the types of assessment? What is the purpose? Why do we do assessment? Then what are the tools we use in order to assess the students, and what are the techniques we use? All right, so all these we will see in detail. Let us just go and dive right into the video. All right, so we have here, first of all, environmental studies or environmental science. So environmental science assessment are important for evaluating students understanding of the environment sustainability. Here is a detailed explanation of assessment in EVS, including types, purpose, tools, and techniques. Now you see, they have given an introduction that environmental science assessment is very important. It is very important. Why? It is important for evaluation of the students' understanding. You will try to evaluate, you try to find out how much the students understand about environment, about climate change, about the different types of pollutions, and how they know or don't about the conservation of the environment, about the sustainability of the environment. So these things we will find out, or we can find out, by using different types of assessment, right? So types of assessment, let us try to see. All right, so types of assessment. Formative assessment. All right, this is a very familiar term. I believe you already understood. See, I have explained to you very nicely this formative assessment. If you say now that, sir, I don't know what is formative assessment, then this is very bad. I will not like you if you do like this. All right, I've already explained this formative assessment very well in one of my video. So if you have not watched that video, then please kindly find the video in YouTube. If you cannot find, then you please ask me. I will find out and I'll give you. Right. So formative assessment is very easy. What is formative assessment? These assessments occur during the learning process and are designed to provide ongoing feedback. Example include class discussions, quizzes, and peer reviews. Example, a teacher may conduct a class discussion on the important impact of deforestation and ask students to share their thoughts. Now you see, formative assessment is very simple. Once more, I'm revising here, right? I'm not teaching you here now what is formative assessment, because it's a very easy topic. I've already explained to you. Formative assessment means it is a type of assessment which takes place during the course of study, which means, suppose you are teaching a topic in the class, suppose you are teaching them about deforestation. So now, when you are teaching them about deforestation, you will ask, after teaching the topic, once you finish teaching the topic, you will ask the questions from the students, yes or no. So that is formative assessment. You might give them class test, yes or no. So that is formative assessment. You may give them homework. So that is what? That is formative assessment. You may give them, weekly test. What is that? That is formative assessment. All right, so these are formative assessment, which means it is taking place during the course of study. You can ask the students to discuss among themselves. So this is also formative assessment. You can ask them, or you can organize some quiz competition type of events in your classroom. You can ask them to debate on that topic, or you can ask them to discuss on that topic. So all this comes under formative assessment, which means whenever you are teaching, or whenever the students are learning, during the process of learning, the type of assessment which takes place is known as formative assessment. All right, now summative assessment is opposite of formative assessment. Summative assessment means the type of assessment which is done at the end of the course. So your semester examinations, your half yearly examination, your annual examinations, all comes under summative assessment. Summative assessment means once you've done with the studies, once you have done with your studies, then only we conduct the summative assessment. Summative means what? Which means we will sum up, right? You have your study assignment, submission, classes, everything you have, and at the end of the day, you write your final exam, your semester exam. So all those are summative assessment. But formative assessment means your class test, whatever the teacher is asking you the question, your homework, your assignment, all these are your formative assessment. All right. So now summative assessment are conducted at the end of the unit or course to measure the overall understanding of the subject. Examples include final exams and procedures. This is what I told you just now, right? So formative assessment means, or I mean summative assessment means the type of assessment which is done at the end of the course. Performance based assessment. See, by the word itself you understand performance based assessment means it is a type of assessment which will be based on the performance of the learner. So these assessment focus on real world application. Example include conducting experiments, creating environmental models, or solving sustainability related problems. Now you see example is given. Students may conduct an experiment to measure air pollution levels in their neighborhood. Now you see performance based assessment means the students will learn by performing that, or by doing certain experiments, or by doing certain activity, or by observing or doing something, making models or performing an activity in the real situation, in the real scenario, right? So a student may conduct an experiment, or they can make a model on air pollution, they can make a model on earthquake, on volcano, on deforestation, on afforestation, on any topic the students can be given to perform. All right, suppose I say, all right, Rahul, you go home and you please make a model on deforestation and bring it tomorrow. So that is what, that is performance based assessment, which means I will see his performance, how he have made the model, what are the resources he used for the model. And again in the classroom I might ask Sarah, now you explain with the help of Rahul's model of deforestation, you explain to me what is deforestation. So I'm asking Sarah again to perform, to speak out, to to educate me about what is deforestation, or educate the whole class what is deforestation. So these type of activities are known as performance based assessment. Now purpose of EVS assessment. Now why, what is the need, why do we do EVS assessment? So number one, or all right, evaluating knowledge. So assessment are used to determine what students have learned about environmental science topics such as ecosystem, climate change, or biodiversity. Now we do EVS assessment so that we can find out how much the students have understood about the environment. Do they know what is biotic factor? What is a biotic factor? Do they know what are fossil fuels? Do they know what are ecosystem? Do they know what is climate change? Do they know what is biodiversity, national park? What is earthquake? What are mountains? What are rivers, oceans, maps, then caves? So all these things to find out whether the student know or not, we do evaluation. We do, yes, evaluating the knowledge. And to evaluate the knowledge, what do? We do assessment of EVS. All right, now promoting critical thinking. So EVS assessment often aim to encourage critical thinking about environmental issues and solutions. Now you see, we do EVS assessment to promote critical thinking in children, to promote critical thinking in students, which means students are able to find out, they are able to find out the solutions to the existing problem. We can ask them, so climate change is already happening in the world, so how can we take care of this climate change? How can we protect our world from this climate change? Global warming has started. Can we do something about it? So when you ask questions from the students, they are bound for critical thinking. So they find out the solutions, right? Tracking progress. Teachers use assessment to track individual and class progress, identify areas of improvement, and just introduction accordingly. Now you see, tracking progress. So if you want to know Rahul's progress in the class, if you want to know Sarah's progress in the class, then what you can do, you can make use of this assessment techniques. And through assessment, you will know like how much Sarah has understood the concept, what are the areas in which Sarah needs improvement, what are the instructions I have to, give, or how can I, what are the instructions I can give, or how can I improve, or I can design, or I can, give alternative to Sarah so that she understand the topic which she have not understood well. So what can I do? How can I adjust my teaching strategies, teaching methods, teaching learning materials so that she understands the topic which I intend to teach her. Right? Motivating engagement. Well-designed assessment can engage students by connecting lessons to real problems and fostering a sense of responsibility towards the environment. Now you see, motivating engagement, which means when we are engaging the students, when we are taking the learners directly to the natural setting, to the national park, to the zoological park, or to the garden, or to biodiversity, biosphere, anywhere, caves, then they are able to understand because they are observing, they are watching that, and they feel motivated. All right, so sir is going to take me for the field trip, sir is going to take me for you know park visit, so they feel happy and they stay motivated. All right, now tools for assessment, EVS assessment. So what are the tools, how can you assess? All right, we understood you have to assess them, purpose also we understood, why do we assess, but how will you assess them? Written assessment, these include traditional test, quizzes, essays, and research papers. Now we can assess the learners through written assessment, which means we can ask them the questions, we can give them questionnaires, and they can answer. All right, we can ask them to write the essays, we can ask them to do the quizzes, we can ask them to debate. All right, anything we can ask. Observation, teachers can observe students during class activities, field trips, or experiments to assess their understanding and participation. Now through observation also we can assess the students. We will observe how they are behaving in a field trip, how they are behaving in a park, how they are behaving in a botanical garden, whether they are paying attention to what is being taught or not, whether they are being observant or not, whether they are curious about learning or not. So all these things teacher can observe. Not technology, online platforms and educational softwares can used for interactive quizzes, simulations, and data analysis. Now you know that we live in a digital world. We live in a world where science and technology has advanced so much that even our classrooms are digital classroom or smart classrooms. Yes or no? So we can make use of the different quizzes, mock test, simulations, and data analysis in order to learn, or in order to do the assessment of EVS through technology. Now what are the techniques for EVS assessment? Rubrics, creating clear rubrics for assignments between or help students understand the expectations and enables consistent grading. Whenever, this is very important for EMTET exam, rubrics means grading system. Rubrics are used in order to grade the students. All right, so we can make use of rubrics, and we can give the assignments to the students, and with the use of rubrics we can grade the students who did best, who did better, or who did very poorly, all this. All right, peer assessment, students can evaluate each other's project or presentation, which promotes collaboration and self-assessment. Now you see, in schools we have done peer assessment. Yes or no? I have checked my friend's copy, my friend has checked my copy in the presence of teacher, right? So this is known as peer assessment. All right, portfolios, students can compile a portfolio of their work throughout the course to demonstrate their progress and understanding of environmental topics. Now portfolio, in a portfolio you can have your essays, you can have your questions, or you can have your presentation, you can have your slides, or you can have your assignments, you can have your projects, anything you can have in your portfolio. Whatever the work you have done, the research you have done, can be put up in portfolios. Now Socratic seminars, what is Socratic seminar? Now let us see. These are structured discussions that encourage critical thinking and in-depth analysis of environmental issues. Now Socratic seminars are the structured discussions, or these are a way of discussions which will encourage critical thinking and in-depth analysis of the environmental issues in the individuals who are taking part in it. Right, so in summary we can say that EVS assessments serve to gauge students' knowledge, critical thinking skills, and engagement with environmental topics. They can take various forms, from traditional tests to performance-based projects, and play a crucial role in fostering environmental awareness and responsible citizenship. So in summary we can say that assessment of EVS is important because we have different purpose for assessment, we have different tools for assessment, right? So when we do assessment of students with respect to environmental studies, it helps us to make citizens who are responsible citizens, who are understanding citizens, who are individuals who know how to take care of the environment, of their society, of their forest, of the agriculture, of their environment, or the house They know how to use the recycled products, they know how to minimize the different type of pollutions, they know how to minimize the use of plastics. So we build an individual who is a responsible environmentalist or who is a responsible citizen of the country, right? So I think this is all in this video. So thank you everyone for staying connected with Ashok Tutorials, Meghalaya's first entered channel. Thank you.